Hey folks, we're back and it's time for North Georgia Senior Living with Jessi Barton, the Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall and Ellijay. How are you, Jessi?
I'm well. I thought I was bringing sunshine because it was sunny where I was at. It's a little dreary, but it's
So
good.
are you telling me the sun's not shining out there?
Afraid
Because
so.
I don't accept that. On Friday mornings, I never accept that the sun's not shining because it's always shining on our show Friday morning. Right, we don't allow the sun.
You are my sunshine.
But listen, we've had some beautiful days this week. The absolutely gorgeous, work in the yard kind of days, enjoy getting outside kind of days. And when we do that, it's like it's I will say like heaven sent, obviously, but when you have 3 or 4 very good work outside days and then a rain, because my neighbor for 19 years has a small farm, and I enjoy watching him work.
Keyword watching.
Yeah. But no, I can see it. But I just know he's enjoying himself, and he's out there, and he's with his, plowing and planting and whatever, and nothing like 3 days later having what I call a garden rain.
Yeah, a good soaking.
Right, so we're okay. We're going to have a good weekend, and
it is going to be good.
Get a great forecast. So, all right, enough with the weather report.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Okay. You said you wanted to talk about, and I'm trying to put this, say it again. What do we want? Respite Care.
Yes.
Tell us what that is, Jessi. I'm sorry.
Glad you asked, Brian. We've got our Friday sillies. We were both talking about how busy our weeks have been. Good weeks, but busy weeks. So I think we've both got our Friday sillies and weekend readiness here.
I love being silly. I really do, man. I mean, sometimes I got to reel it back in. But
I know.
Let's talk about respite care. What is that?
So that seems to be the hot topic this week. I've gotten a lot of calls on it, a lot of people asking if there is such a thing. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what we can offer at Cameron Hall as what is considered respite care. Depending on where you're at, where you're watching us from, there could be places that have it where you're at. But if you're in this local area or coming to North Georgia, respite care is a temporary situation to help give care to somebody who needs it, so that the caregiver has a chance to either take a vacation, have a break, or B, maybe they've got some things that they need to attend to, or it might even be something. One of the things that we've talked about this week with one family is dad fell and broke his hip, went to rehab, but he's done with his rehab stay, so he met all of his days on Medicare, but he's still not quite ready to go home. He's doing a lot better, but still wants a little more time, so he fits the qualifications to come in and stay in our respite room for a short while he continues to recover and gain strength and improve. So we have a furnished apartment at Cameron Hall that people can rent on a daily basis. We typically do a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. I've got somebody in there right now for 6 weeks. So that is an option. If you are a caregiver for somebody and you need to take a vacation, or you've got a grandchild that is graduating high school this month, and you want to go to where they're at, but you feel like you're tied back with someone, we have that solution in place.
Well, there's several things that's going on at this time where, if you have family that wants to take care of mom and dad, I mean, great, okay? And I talk from experience because my grandmother lived with us the last 7.5 years of her life, okay?
Right.
So she lives with us. But if that's what you're doing, and you have a situation where you want to take an extensive trip, and your mom and dad just can't take 2 weeks, can't do that, this respite care, what we're talking about, is a short-term situation for things like that. But also, let me say this is not a move-in. So you offer, so somebody out there, this is not a complete move-in.
Right.
This is a temporary situation, and you offer that service.
Right. It's kind of like a resort stay, because included in that, you get all of the meals in the dining room. You get all the activities that we do, like on a cruise ship. Today's agenda, and you get to enjoy all that. And
I
it's
might
actually,
say, can you do that again? Tell them what
those
they
are my
want.
Vanna skills.
Yeah, okay.
So it's cheaper than your typical hotel stay, especially when you factor in that we do the housekeeping and the laundry, even for our respite stays.
Well, and not just that. If you talked about a broken hip, but if you have a situation where now you finished rehab and you're ready to go home, but you're not ready to go home and be by yourself for a while,
Sure.
and you feel another 2-3 weeks is best, where somebody is there and available for you. This is that short-term spot that you can do.
Absolutely.
And you offer that at Cameron Hall.
We do offer it at Cameron Hall. Another great way that I have seen the respite room used in our particular situation is as a trial run. Maybe mom's on the fence and she likes the idea of being around people, but she's afraid that she's being placed in a home, that whole stigma that we all fear sometimes, and she wants to try it out for a week or two. See if she likes it, see if she fits in, and so we can do that kind of stay as well.
All right. Well, okay, I like that. So let's say this. If your mom and dad's living with you and the kids, and that's great if you're able to do that. But if you need to get away for an extended period of time and mom and dad can't travel, because I do remember that ourselves, we would not be able to go do things because grandma couldn't do it, and so if that's one situation and you need a temporary place for mom or dad to stay for a couple weeks where you feel good, they're cared for properly.
Right.
Okay.
Right. 24/7.
That's respite care, 24/7, temporary. Then if you have a situation where you're coming out of recovery or something and rehab and you're just not quite ready to go home and be alone and do things on your own, you feel that way, respite care again, 24/7, good care you can trust and count on is there. And then the last one is if you're thinking about moving into Cameron Hall and mom and dad are wondering what's it like, and they don't quite want to go, they could come stay for that short period of time and say, I think I want to stay.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Those are three of the bigger. Did we get that?
They are. And then I did have one resident. So a lot of times what can happen is you're getting close to the days, but Medicare won't keep paying if you have met your progress. So sometimes a discharge from a hospital or a rehab can happen very quickly. Like, oh, you have to go home tomorrow or it's going to be private pay, which is super expensive. And so we had it used one time where a lady needed to be discharged. They didn't have enough time to get furniture and those kind of things ready because they were discharging so quickly. So we were able to move her into our respite room, get her out of the rehab situation, and that gave her family time to set up her apartment the way she would enjoy it. And she has actually ended up, she was a little on the fence because it wasn't her place, it wasn't her bed, but once she got transitioned in, she has thrived. She's social. So it's a great introductory to all of that.
I don't think that's an unusual situation to a lot of people that have a hospital stay, that a person comes in that you haven't met before into your room and you say, who are you? You're going home today. Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what you don't know is the insurance sent that email and said they go home today as of or whatever. Well, I don't want now doctors. I don't want to get down that road.
No.
They have the availability. They are able to make some decisions. But
right.
But you're right. Just all of a sudden you're told you're going home and you don't feel I'm not ready to do that.
Right. So a lot of times what happens is we've talked to physicians and they prefer for their person to stay a little bit longer, but obviously we won't get into the politics of health care and Medicare, but sometimes that doctor's wishes, they think this is the best to stay a little bit longer, but they have to get that hospital bed freed up. So what happens then is they get home, they weren't ready to be home, they weren't ready to be able to take care of themselves. Maybe they have, maybe they were diagnosed with COPD and they don't know how to completely use their oxygen tank yet. So they get home and these things they're not ready for this, and so they end up back in the hospital. So this is a way to also help prevent. So if you're a physician watching us today and you have patients, maybe that's an option for you to suggest as well.
Folks, we were talking about Respite Care and this morning with Jessi Barton, Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall. And what I want to say is one of the things we really like to do on this segment is get a chance, you to have a chance to meet Jessi. And as I would say, this is the person you want to talk to, and you should be able to pick that up, Jessi. I really do. You are the one that I hope that they contact, because I know you do an outstanding job working with these patients and working with the people that want to make that next step in their life and need the right person to talk to, and that is you.
Thank you.
Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall, Jessi Barton. Tell them your website. Tell them how to contact you.
Sure. CameronHallofEllijay.com, or you can give me a call at 706-515-4100.
Folks, don't go anywhere. Pet of the Week is next here live in studio. So don't go anywhere. Right after this short break, we'll be back with the Humane Society of Blue Ridge Pet of the Week.